For decades, Wavons and designers have been happily married and co-leading a non-profit developing a cure for a life-threatening disease. This work is largely funded by profits from a successful companies Wavons founded, but one day the couple is involved in a traffic car and Guivan is rushed to the hospital. The doctors can only do so much and on her deathbed. Guivan asked Zina to promise her 2 months. First, she warned Zina to continue using the company funds to support their non-profit and its research. Second, Guivan recalls a conversation from years early where the two pledged that no matter what the future be, they would never remarry. And in her final moments, Wyvern asks Zina to recommit that pledge. Holding her wife closely, Zina promised to uphold White's wishes. In the following decade, Zina keeps the promise. But now several large pharmaceutical companies at any moment. This disease additionally, after years of mourning, Zina has finally entered a new relationship. She happy with her parents, and while she's not sure if she even ready to remarry, she feels the weight of her promise. Given these new circumstances, should Zina continue keeping these promises? Philosophy has a lot to say about the value of keeping promises. For example, philosopher Tim Scanlon agreed that promising is essentially about creating interpersonal excitations, making a promise assure another person that we will act in a certain way, which they can incorporate into their plans. But since Wyvern can no longer make plans, it seems like Zina's decision or only affect herself right. Maybe not. Philosophers like John Rawls and David Hume argue that keeping promise isn't as much about protecting the individual involved as preserving the social value of promising itself. Hume sees promise as tools for signaling trustworthiness. So breaking them makes the practice less reliable overall. Similarly, Rawls thinks keeping promise is a matter of fairness. If you have been benefited from this social practice, then justice requires you to uphold your end of the bargain. But do these social concerns apply to promise we have made? And even if they do, shouldn't Zina's decision on this personal matter focus on more women than on what Zina might attract our society? These questions don't have clear answers, and they may not even be relevant to this case. Most philosophers agree that promise obtained through certain or deceit aren't piling, and one could argue that Zina's promises were made under who could say no to their dying spouse. On the other hand, Wyman's deathbed wishes were neither threatening nor particularly irresponsible given their history. If we assume post promises are legitimate, we made about Zina's dilemma through the lens of self-determination. English philosopher John Locke believed people have a natural right to show ownership that limits how much other people can determine what we do.